In the last class, I have discussed about that modeling of stone column supported embankment, and then how the different components of that total system can be modeled by using this mechanical element like spring, dashpot, shear layer. So, those things has been discussed. And today, I will discuss further how these things can be developed in equation form, and then how those equation can be solved. Now, in the last class in this embankment, so if this is the embankment and this one is resting on a granular layer, and then this granular layer is sand pad or sand cushion, and then this is resting over the stone column improved soft soil. So, these are the stone columns. So, this embankment is modeled by Pasternak shear layer, this is by spring stone column, which is non-linear. Then subsoil by spring dashpot, then granular layer also by Pasternak shear layer. So, these are the different components which is model. So, then if this is center line, and this is L C, this one is also L C, is H E height of the embankment, H F height of the granular field or thickness of the granular field, H S is the depth of the soft soil. S is the spacing between stone column, D or DC or equal to 2B is the diameter or width of the stone column. So, this is a plane strain analysis. So, last class it was derived that for the shear in D delta n x del x plus q minus q t, that was 0. Now, q t means in the embankment. So, if at the top is q, then at the bottom reaction is q t. Similarly, for the granular layer, on the top it is q t and in the bottom it is q s. Similarly, for the soft soil over stone column, this will act as a q s over this stone column reinforced soft soil. Now, these things been already discussed that the stress acting on the stone column and stress acting on the soft soil are not same. So, now in this expression q t and this total expression we have to write in this form that you know that n x is the total shear force, and that is we can derive 0 to d to tau x z dx. Because last class it is derived that n x, that here n x, if it is total shear force per unit length, then n x will be 0 to 1 tau x z d z, here also d z. So, because it is in the unit length, so we will get this is simply tau x z, which is nothing but G p into del w del x. But here it is unit length, but here we consider this is in terms of d, where d is the depth of the embankment. Now, this d is not constant throughout this length, because d is varying up to L C distance, it is uniform H e, then it is decreasing 1 is to n component. Now, this d value is 1 is to n. Now, next one, so if I get this n x value, this will be 0 to d tau z x into x z into d z. So, now here we consider a nonlinear relationship of tau x z. So, in the similar to the case relationship, that case nonlinear relationship that was given, that q is equal to k s 0 w 1 plus k s 0 w into q u. So, that expression is already given for the nonlinear form. So, similar expression was suggested by Ghosh and Madhav in 1994 to express this. This expression is originally proposed by Kondar 1963. Similar expression was proposed by E 0, Ghosh and Madhav, d by dx divided by 1 plus G 0 dw by dx divided by tau u e. So, this is proposed by Ghosh and Madhav 1994. So, now in this expression, if we look at this expression, so this is similar to the nonlinear expression, where G E 0 is initial shear modulus and tau u e is the ultimate shear strength of the embankment material, and tau u e is the ultimate shear strength of the embankment material. So, now this is the nonlinear expression that we are using. So, once we use this expression, so final expression that we will get that n x that will be equal to 0 to d z e 0, then d del w del x divided by 1 plus G E 0 del w del x tau u e into d z. So, once we derive this expression, so after the derivation and the integration, putting this d value, we will get this is equal to, now this is here. So, this will be equal to g e 0 del w del x 1 plus g e 0 del w del x divided by tau u e into d, because just to integrate 0 to d you will get d z after integration d. Now, again del n x by del x, that will give a g e 1 d w d x d dash plus g e 2 into d del 2 w del x square, where, so just to derive this expression we will get in this form, where g e 1 is g e 0 1 plus g e 0 del w del x into tau u e, and g e 2 is equal to g 0 e 0 1 plus g e 0 del w del x divided by tau u e into whole square. So, we will get in this form where d dash is nothing but dd by dx, the rate of change of this d with respect to x. Now, this q at the top we can write, that is q 0 plus gamma into d. So, where q 0 is the surcharge, gamma is equal to unit weight of the soil, and d is equal to depth of the or height of the embankment. So, once we write this expression, then the final form we can write, because the final expression is del n x del x plus, that is the final form of the expression, that plus q minus q t is equal to 0. So, once we put this value, so q t value will be equal to del n x del x plus q, that is equal to q g plus gamma e d, unit weight of the soil means embankment, plus g e 1 del w del x d dash plus g e 2 d del square w del x square. So, similarly, this is the expression where this is a q t, this q t is acting over the embankment layer. So, now for the embankment layer we have to derive similar type of expression. So, for the embankment layer, if I consider a similar type of expression, that for embankment, if I consider this shear layer, because for the granular layer also used granular layer, we have also used this Pasternak shear layer. So, now for the granular layer, if I consider a particular strip of thickness H, because H f is the thickness of the granular layer. From here also the shear force that will act tau f into tau f plus del tau f dx del x, because this distance thickness is del x. Similarly, this one will be W and this one W plus del W, and it is G f is the shear modulus, and here on the top Q T will act and in the bottom Q S will act. If it is a reinforcement layer, then here in the reinforcement layer also there will be shear, stress, and there will be normal stress, top and the bottom. So, then this will be Q T and this will be Q B, and if we placed say reinforcement layer on the top or interface between the granular layer and the embankment, then this will come first, then this expression will come later on, but here in place of Q T you have to use Q B, this is Q S. So, now in this expression for a small segment, if we consider take this expression, then we can write Q T del x minus Q S del x, and from here tau f tau f is cancelled out, plus del tau f del x, and this is del delta x. Now, here this is H f. So, this will be H f. So, this one will be equal to 0. So, now the Q T Q S, if del x cancel out, this Q T is equal to Q S minus del tau f del x into H f. Now, similar to for the del tau f, similar to for the tau f also, if I consider the f 0 del w del x nonlinear expression 1 plus G f 0 del w del x tau u f, where G f 0 is the initial modulus of shear layer or granular layer, and tau u f is the ultimate shear strength. And this is for the granular layer. So, finally, once we write this expression, then after the derivation we will get this expression, thus del tau f tau x, then we have to derive this expression. So, we will get this form, that is G f 0, then 1 plus G f 0 del w del x divided by tau u f into square del square w del x square. So, once we derive this expression, we will get this form, that is del tau f del x will get in this form. Now, if we put this expression here, then we will get that expression, that G F 1 is equal to G F 0 1 plus G F 0 del W del x tau u f whole square, then this del tau f del x, that is equal to G f 1 into del square W del x square. So, these are the expressions that we can use. So, finally, these we can write, this is q t equal to q s minus G f 1 h f into del square W del x square. If I put this value in this expression, then this expression is will write in this form. So, finally, we can write q t value in this way also. So, q t, q f and this value. So, final form of the expression is will be that in terms of q t and total force, that we can write that gamma E d plus q 0 is equal to C w minus G E 1 d dash del W del x plus G E 2 d plus G f 1 h f del square W del x square, where because C q s value is equal to k s into W if it is a linear spring. Now, if it is a non-linear spring and if you want to incorporate the consolidation effect, then we can write that for consolidation effect we can write that q s will be equal to effective stress and the pore water pressure. Q s is the total stress that is equal to effective stress and pore water pressure. And this effective stress is taken by the spring itself, and then pore water pressure. So, this in case of q s, if effective stress is taken by the pore water pressure spring, and the spring if I consider it is a non-linear, then this q s sigma bar is dash equal to del q 1 plus k s 0 W q u. This q u is the ultimate bearing capacity subsoil. And then finally, we can write here that q s that is equal to k s 0 W 1 plus k s 0 W by q u plus u e u, which can be written in this form, thus u 0 1 plus degree of consolidation. So, q u e is the effective pore water pressure at any stage, and u 0 is the initial pore water pressure. So, finally, once we put this expression in this form, and then initially pore water pressure q 0 that is also equal to q s. So, finally, once we get this expression, the final expression of q s will be k 0 k s 0 w u 1 by k s 0 w by q u, where this u is the degree of consolidation. So, once we write in this expression, then if I put this expression in the final form, then this expression gamma E d plus q 0 that is equal to C w minus g E 1 d del w del x plus g E 2 d plus g f 1 h f into del square w del x square. So, that we can write that if embankment is this one and this total width is b, then this expression is valid up to total is 2 b, then if this is the b, then this expression is valid in between 0 x and b is greater than 0 and less than b. And C, where C is equal to k s 0 u 1 plus k s 0 w q u. This is for the soft soil region, and in the stone column regions k c 1 plus k c 0 w q u c, that is for the stone column region. So, because here we have two separate region, one is within the stone column region and another in between this stone column, this soft soil region. So, soft soil region, the degree of consolidation will play a very major issue. So, this degree of consolidation we have to use here, and this stone column region will get this k c 0 is the initial spring constant or modulus of stone column material. So, and this is q u c is the ultimate load carrying capacity of the stone column. So, then we will get, and the for the within the, if it is x is greater than b and less than a. So, if x is greater than b and less than L, L is the width of the total model from the center, then we will get a expression that is, because in this expression this total force is 0. So, we will get a expression that is q s 0 w u 1 plus k s 0 w by q u s, then minus g f h f del square w del x square that is equal to 0, because here this part will not be present, this part will also not be present, because in this part, sorry, this one also d dash, because in this part we will get because embankment is not present here. Beyond this point, this is B to L, this region embankment is not present. So, we will get this expression. So, this expression number 1 and expression number 2, these are very major two expression, and now to solve these two expressions. Now, first we will express this expression, we can express this expression in non-dimensional form, and we can non-dimensional this expression, but in terms of Ks and the width of the embankment. So, these things, this total derivation and this expression, how to non-dimensional this path can be explained, is explained by Deb in 2010. So, these things can be explained, it is can be find, this is 2010, this the paper, which is now once do we non-dimensional this part. Now, we have to put the d value, because d value is varying from place to place, and d dash also. D dash is the rate of change of the depth, and d is the depth of the embankment at any condition. So, now if I put that part, if it is L C, so we can write d is equal to H E, height of embankment, for x less than L C, less than equal to L C, and greater than 0, because this is 0. Similarly, d will be equal to H E minus x minus L C divided by n for L C less greater than x, but x greater less than b, less than equal to b. So, that means, if x is within this region, then d equal to H E and d dash is equal to 0, because the rate of change of this depth is 0, because the depth is not changing. But in this region, this will be the d, and d dash value will be minus 1 by n. So, now we will get d and d dash value for different condition. So, now this expression, this Ks term is present, Ks 0 and Kc 0. These both two are the initial subgrade modulus of the stone column material and the subsoil material. So, these two things can be, we can convert into in terms of E and mu. So, that we can done, that is proposed, that it is given the relationship between Ks and E is that Ks 0 or subgrade modulus, that is equal to one plus mu 0 1 minus. So, this expression, this K s 0 is E s divided by H s 1 plus mu s 1 minus 2 mu s. So, this is also proposed by Selvadurai. Where E s, and similarly K c 0 is E c H s 1 plus mu c 1 minus 2 mu c. So, that is, so now where E c is the elastic modulus of subsoil, EC is the elastic modulus of stone column material, then mu C, mu S is the Poisson ratio, of subsoil, mu C is the Poisson ratio of stone material. So, once we now if I express this alpha, where alpha is equal to K C 0 by K S 0, then we will get where H S is the depth of subsoil, and here we assume that depth of subsoil and the depth of stone column are same. Depth of subsoil so, K C 0 case is alpha, we can write in this form that 1 plus mu s 1 minus 2 mu s divided by 1 plus mu c 1 minus 2 mu c into E c by E s. So, this E c by E s is called modular ratio. So, E c by E s is called modular ratio. Generally, this range varies from 5 to 100. So, now these are the expression, expression which is from this main expression. Now, we have to solve or determine the settlement. So, once we get this expression, now we have to solve this expression by using finite difference technique, and then we can solve this expression, and then we can determine the settlement value. So, once we get this expression, so now then we have to solve this expression in terms of settlement, and then we have to use the boundary condition also. So, suppose if this is the embankment, this is granular layer and this is the base, and then this is the stone column. So, once we get this stone columns and this granular layer, now what will be the boundary condition first. So, once we solve this expression, so first we can derive this expression by using this soil structure or mechanical element. Then we have to non-dimensional this form of the expression in terms of by using the K s 0 and width of the beam. Then once we non-dimensional this expression, then we have to solve this expression by using the finite difference scheme. So, here we have this d 2 w d x 2. So, that expression we can solve by using the central difference scheme. So, that central difference scheme we can use by w 1 plus I minus 2 w I plus w I minus 1 divided by del x square. So, that means we have to divide these points into n number of. So, this is the one point, another point. So, divide this total thing into n number of segments. So, each segment has a thickness of delta x. So, if it is 1, 2, 3, then this will be I, this is I plus 1, this is I minus 1. So, once we get that, then we can use this every point the same expression, or we can use this equation at every point. Now, one thing is that for this, as it is point is symmetric, we will analyze this half portion. So, from 0 will start from here. So, if we apply this equation, expression in this 0, then we need one point I minus 1. So, that is here, but we do not have any node here. For example, if we are applying here, so this is 1, this is 2, number 2 node, this is number 3 node, this is number 4, number 5 and so on. So, if this is W 1 and you are using this expression of the first node, then this will be W I plus 1, this is W I, this is W I minus 1. So, 1 will be W I, 2 will be W I plus 1, and this distance is uniformly we are taking del x. But we do not have any node here, but we have to consider one node. So, this node is called imaginary node or fictitious node. Now, we have to determine this node here, and then for that purpose we need a boundary condition. So, that boundary condition is that at this point that we will consider the slope of the settlement, that is 0. So, here as it is symmetric. So, at this point the slope will be 0. So, once slope will be 0, that is del w del x is 0 at x equal to 0, then what will happen? Then again we have to use the central difference scheme. If we use the central difference scheme for this one, then we will get w I plus 1 minus w I minus 1 divided by 2 del x. So, that is the central difference scheme for the slope, and at this x equal to 0 point it is 0. So, then at point 1 w I plus 1 is equal to w I minus 1. So, that means at point the deflection at point 2, w at point 2 and w of this fictitious node 2 dash, say 2 dash is same. So, this is this way, by using the boundary condition we will get fictitious. But next point we can use this expression central difference scheme all the point, then the problem will arise in the same when in the last point. There also we have, if we use this expression. So, there will be w I minus 1 and w I plus 1. So, then we need another fictitious point. If it is n, then we need, this is n minus 1 dash. So, this will be n minus 1. So, now we have to use another boundary condition here to solve this expression. So, that boundary condition is, we can use that the here we can consider L such that the deflection of this point here also slope will be 0. So, once also where we can use this boundary condition that the slope at the x equal to 0, that is also 0, and slope at x equal to L. So, that means at slope will be 0 at x equal to 0. Similarly, at x equal to L, here also del w del x equal to 0. Now, this is one boundary condition, this is another boundary condition, x equal to 0, del w del x equal to 0. So, if we apply this boundary condition, we can solve this, we can determine the value of this 2 dash fictitious node or imaginary node. If I use this boundary condition, we will determine the value of this n minus 1 dash fictitious node. So, now here also the slope is 0, then the settlement of n minus 1 node will be equal to the settlement of n minus 1 node dash. Here also if we apply these things, so we will get w n minus 1 will be w n minus 1 dash. So, by using this boundary condition. So, once we get this boundary condition, then the loading condition is that if I consider there will not be any surcharge. So, q dash will be 0 if no surcharge. And then beyond this, if x is greater than b, then the q value or the loading pattern. So, there will be 0 q equal to 0. So, that beyond this point there is no loading is applied. Within this point, this is the q is gamma into d, d is changing depending upon the x value. So, once we determine these total values, then what we will get actually from this expression. So, we have some expression, this is in terms of q 0 plus gamma d, then we have this expression here in terms of d w del x, then we have expression in terms of d square w del x square, we have the expression in terms of w also. So, we have the expression in terms of w, in terms of del w, and then we have the expression in terms of q. So, what will happen or what we will do? So, now we will, so here we will express it in terms of w I plus 1 and w I minus 1. This one also, this is w I. So, this one also will express w I plus 1, w I and w I plus I minus 1. So, these things will express in this form, this thing will express x plus 1, x minus 1, and this is w I. So, now we, this is q force, and then we determine, take w I, then this coefficient, w I plus 1, then this coefficient, and w I minus 1 in this coefficient. So, we will get, so we will, once we express this term, so there must be some constant here, some constant here, some constant here, this is plus, plus, or maybe plus minus anything. So, now we will express this term and then we separate all the components of w 1 in one bracket, w I plus 1 in another bracket, and w I minus 1 in another bracket. So, ultimately these are the constants. So, we will get one matrix in this form. This is A 1 1, then for the first row you will get A 1 2 and all the other values are 0, because for the first row we have only w I minus 1 is equal to w I plus 1. So, there will be only two components w 1 1. For the third row we will get w 2 1, w 2 2, w 2 3, then other things are 0. In the third one we will get 0, w 3 2, a 3 3, a 3 4, then 0. So, and for the last one also, and similarly for the last one also we will get a n plus 1 a n, because if we take n number of nodes, if n is the segment, then node point will be n plus 1, because we have 1 segment, 2 segment, 3 segment, this 3 segment, then the node point number is 4. So, this is, so that is why this will be n minus 1. So, this is n minus 1. So, they will, and this portion all are 0. So, we will get a banded type of matrix, and then here you can write W 1, W 2 up to W n plus 1, and similarly that is equal to Q 1, Q 2 up to Q n plus 1. So, we will get this matrix form, and then if we solve this matrix, then if we know boundary from the loading condition, if we put the loading values here and then determine all these coefficient a 1 1, a 1 2, a 2 1, a 2 2, a 2 3, and then if we solve this one, inverse this matrix, then we will get the W 1, W 2, W n plus 1. So, there is very different this solution techniques are available to determine this W 1, W 2 and up to W n plus 1 from this type of expression. So, that means, first we will get the expression, then we apply the then we express it in terms of finite difference scheme. So, once we express this in terms of finite difference scheme, then we determine all the coefficient of W 1, W I plus 1, W I minus 1, then we will get a matrix, and then we solve that expression, we will get W 1, W 2, W 3. So, we have to apply the boundary condition also to determine the values of the fictitious node, we have to apply the loading condition, and then we will get the W 1, W 2 to W n minus 1. So, settlement or the deflection of each point. So, once we get the deflection, then you know that Q s is K s 0 W 1 plus K s 0 W Q u. This is for the Q s soil, then Q c for the stone column. So, we will get. So, now if for the so once we divide these things, and then we have to change the condition, because within the stone column region this will be Q c will be in this form. You have to use the Q c, and in the subsoil region you have to use the Q s. And now, once we get the settlement of every point, then we can determine the stress as every point. If within the subsoil, then stress will use this expression within the stone column. If it is within the subsoil, then we will use this expression. So, once and for any point, we will determine the stress within the subsoil, but first we will calculate the settlement, then we can calculate the stress at any point. So, now once we get the stress and the settlement, then once we get the stress, then we can determine the stress concentration ratio, that is Q c by Q s, and then also we can determine the rho value, that is the soil arching coefficient also, that is the Q s by gamma into d or H e plus Q 0. So, Q s also. So, all these things we can determine here, and then we can use these techniques. So, by using we can determine the settlement at every point, differential settlement, that means settlement, if we know the settlement at any point, then we can know the differential settlement, that means settlement defines the center of the stone column and center of the subsoil, we will get the differential settlement. Then we can determine the stress concentration ratio, we can determine the soil arching ratio. So, all these things we can determine once we when we determine the deflection. So, from this deflection we can determine every unknown quantities, and then we can use those variation, and we can use. So, because our aim is to determine the stress which is acting on the stone column, and then we have to check that amount of stress this column can able to carry or not, And then another check is, if we know how much stress is coming on the soft soil, then you have to check whether that amount of stress the soft soil can carry or not. So, we can check all the, once we calculate settlement, we can calculate stress, and from that stress we can check whether the system can be safe or not, whether this stress which is coming. So, once we have to check stone column and soft soil separately, so that they can able to carry this load or not. So, these are the techniques by using these soil interaction problems elements, we can solve field oriented problem also. And suppose if again if this type of problem where this is a granular layer and this is stone column, we can place say one beam here. If it is a strip footing, so this is a beam. That thing also we can solve here, because here also, so that thing that time if it is a UDL is acting here. So, this will be Q, and then the if we calculate this will be Q, and this will be say Q B. Then for the granular layer, this will be Q B and this will be Q S, and soft soil layer this will be Q S and this will be stone column. So, once, so in this portion you have to use the beam expression, beam equation, and then here this is Pasternak axial layer. So, we have to use the Pasternak axial layer expression, and here the soft soil, once here the stone column expression in the soft soil expression. And then if we solve this expression, then we can determine what would be the settlement, because the previous problem we can determine only the settlement. Here from the settlements we can determine the bending moment of the beam, shear force of the beam, but we have to apply the boundary condition here also for the beam. So, this way we can use the beam also to, and then we can determine what would be the response of the beam if the beam is resting on stone column improved soft soil, because in the study it is showing that if we increase the stiffness of the stone column, then the bending moment and shear force will increase and settlement will decrease. So, we have to choose a proper stiffness, so that this can be balanced. So, those things we can solve by using this technique. So, this is the one application area where we can apply this mechanical element or substrate foundation interaction methodology to solve this field oriented problem. Thank you.